Hello, I'm Priscilla Archangel, and my leadership insight for you today is the impact of change. The news media frequently reports on new leadership appointments across various organizations, and regardless of how these leaders are chosen, stakeholders can anticipate changes. The new leader is going to bring fresh perspectives, priorities, processes, and their own authority to implement change. Now, this change is often driven by the leader's vision for a different future, and their motivation plays a crucial role. Are they pushing change merely to differentiate from their predecessor, for personal advantage, or to benefit the organization and its stakeholders? Ideally, it's the latter, as a fundamental responsibility of leadership is to promote the health and welfare of the organization. Now, if the organization is underperforming, leaders need expert diagnoses on the underlying problem and the appropriate steps to recovery. And before they decide to initiate change, they have to carefully evaluate several things. First, the need. What are the clear quantitative or qualitative measures that clarify what isn't working well now? Next, the impact. What stakeholder groups will be affected by the change? Will the consequences be negative or positive for each? And where it's negative, how can that be alleviated or minimized? The next one is the risk. What's the potential for failure using a particular approach? And what are the alternatives? And finally, the timing. When is the right time to begin the change process? Is there a sense of urgency among stakeholders? Is the organization in imminent danger of collapse or closure? The pace of change can be experienced as a long car ride from point A to point B. It can be filled with stops and starts to refuel and energize, verify the route on GPS, adjust the destination and arrival time. And this method works well when speed isn't a priority. However, problems occur when the pace of change is closer to a bumpy roller coaster ride where you're hanging on for dear life and you experience deep motion sickness thereafter. This type of rapid change or major change can create chaos among stakeholders. It's a level of complete disorder and confusion where those impacted don't know what to do or where to turn for answers. It can be too destabilizing. The support structures, information, roles, and processes that were taken for granted no longer exist or function as they have in the past. It can generate uncertainty. Stakeholders don't know what to expect in the future. And it can erode trust in the leader and their decision-making process. These issues negatively impact productivity and they can lead to failure. It emphasizes that while change itself isn't bad, the process of change must be carefully considered. Introducing and driving change requires a well-thought-out process where leaders assess the key problem areas, drivers of the issues, and complexity of the organization. They engage key stakeholders in planning and problem solving. They provide clear and repeated communication on what, why, how, when, and who related to the change. And they must do it again and again and again. And they monitor progress and adjust the process. This is the feedback and adjustment loop. Overall, the leader is asking all stakeholders to trust them on a journey where they balance the need to operate differently while building new and stable networks and processes. Leaders must generate trust along the way, and one clear way to build that trust is to demonstrate empathy, particularly to those who may be uncomfortable with change or may be negatively affected by it. This means understanding others' perspective and feelings about change, showing concern for them, and taking steps to respond to their needs as much as possible. Stakeholders who become bitter about the process of change are not likely to perform well. Stakeholders who feel cared for and heard in the process are more likely to excel along the way and find new ways to contribute to the overall outcome. The pace and the process of change significantly influence the result, and attentive leadership throughout the process primes the organization for a favorable outcome. Thanks for listening.